There we go. How are you? And thanks for your patience. Good to be with you this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day. And sorry about the little technicality there. I'm a senior. I pull out that card as many times as I can to use it. Hi, Brahim. How are you? My dear friend from Portland, Oregon. Andrea from the Kidneys of Canada, Niagara Falls. Mike from Norland. And we say hello to Linda, St. Jude, Quebec. Good morning. Nick from our staff. And who else? Mary from Norwich. Good morning. Lori, Chilliwack. Fran from Orangeville. Donna from Park Hill. Betty Lynn, Brantford. And Muriel, how are you? And Susan, back from Germany, and she said she missed me. Wendy, Markham. Shirley from Twin Gate, Newfoundland. Marcia, hola from Mexico. How are you? Brenda from Lindsay. Lynn, good morning. And Tina, how are you? Nova Scotia. Jerry, Nouveau Brunswick. Joyce from Kansas. And Rose from Brampton. Wanda, how are you? From Virginia. Barbara, good morning. Karen, Peterborough. Yadang, bonjour. And Andrea, Nouveau Brunswick. And Kevin, there you are, my friend from Oshawa. Jeanette, how you doing? Millika, Stouffville. And Derek, good morning. And Jeanette, appreciate you coming on. Anne, Moncton, New Brunswick. Jeanette from Kapuskasing. Donna from Bell Valley. Tina, you're very close to the camera, she said. Okay, I better back off. I gotta come closer. Carrie, Nebraska, Chantal, because I gotta read. Dave. Cindy. Some people, I get into their space. Deborah. Elaine. Donna, you got me laughing. And David, Ridgway. Sue, okay. A couple of more here. Rim. And Elma. And Mary from PEI. Sandy. From Alberta. Rose, Peterborough. Okay, two more. Oh, Kevin, I already said hello to you. Did I say hello to Len and Judy? No, not yet. And hello from Edmonton, Alberta. Veronica, Julie. I'm going to say hello to Dr. McEwen because I'm just assuming she's on. Luella, Madeleine, Kippawa, good morning. Good morning. Okay, guys, here's what I want to talk about today. Because somebody asked me this on the weekend, and I figured I got to just sort of go over this. Most of you know it, but we're going to go over this again. Okay. Okay? Now, generally, when I saw this, okay? See that? Fat, belly fat. When I see belly fat, what did I see in my office when I saw this? Generally, always exceptions to this, but a general rule of thumb is when you saw belly fat. Now, this happens to be 10 pounds. I think 5 or 10. I'm trying to figure out what is this. I'm so strong I can't think. I don't know. Is that 5 or 10 pounds? I should put it on my scale afterwards. I can't remember from the office. I know this is 1 pound. Okay? See, that's 1 pound of fat there, right there. So this has got to be, I think, 10, which is a foot long and at least 6 inches wide. I mean, unbelievable, okay? And when someone tells you they only lost 5 pounds or 10 pounds, my word, that's a lot of weight. Okay. But when I saw this, belly fat in the midsection, I want to give you a list today of what we saw that went along with this, okay? Because I was telling someone on the weekend that we used to treat and test. Test. Okay, what did we see? What did we see? Generally, okay, I'm going to bring this up. Can you see it? Yep. Okay, put it in the middle a little bit more. Can everyone see that? Give me a thumbs up. Okay. Give me a thumbs up if you can see that clearly there, and I'll get out of the way a little. That's a thumbs up. Okay. What did we see with belly fat? Okay, generally. And remember, this is a dangerous fat because what you see, it's like an iceberg. I used to tell people this. Okay? Go to Newfoundland. And I recommend it, by the way. Go to St. John's. Okay? Beautiful. And I'm sure it's not the only place you can look in Newfoundland at icebergs. But I happened to be doing a seminar in Newfoundland years ago. It got to be more than 10, I think. And I was overwhelmed at the sight, I think it was October, of icebergs. And what you saw, huge. I said, no wonder the Titanic went down. Oh, they said that's nothing compared to the iceberg the Titanic hit. I was looking out at that beautiful ocean and looking at that humongous iceberg, and I said, wow. But it's what's underneath it that's even a lot bigger than that you can't see, that's underwater. And it's the same thing, guys, when it comes to belly fat. It's this fat that you can't see. The visceral fat that surrounds the organs. That's dangerous. You don't even see it. You just see maybe a little bit of belly fat. And I want you to think about this just for a second. Okay? Go back to the 1950s, 60s, 70s. And you didn't see a lot of belly fat. You know, if you saw a guy with belly fat, you said he had a beer belly. But today, we have a whole new classification that we call sugar bellies. Look at kids. Sugar bellies. And especially the sugar you drink. I was in Starbucks the other day, okay? And when you go up and order Starbucks and just order a coffee, okay, you get it pretty quick. Everybody, I just happened to go in and there was about, I don't think I'm exaggerating, 8 or 10 people waiting. They're getting their specialty drinks full of sugar. And I felt like screaming, get out of here. Escape before you drink those sugary drinks. The worst sugar you can do is drinking your sugar. Fructose goes directly to the liver, just like alcohol does. And we have a whole generation of sugar bellies. Okay. Now, that was a little rabbit trail. Okay? Now I'm coming back to belly fat. When we see it, what did I see? Generally, okay? Again, don't come after me. Well, you can. I'm like Teflon. It won't stick. Don't come after me because, well, that didn't happen to me. Yeah, okay. Okay, but generally, here's what we found. It was very consistent, okay, in our clinic days. This is really important. When you see belly fat, here's what you see in terms of blood work and some observations. Okay, now, here's what we saw. What did we see that was high? When you have belly fat, ladies and gentlemen, you ordinarily have too much insulin. Too much estrogen. Insulin's there too. When we saw belly fat in the office, generally we saw people with high estrogen, men and women. Estrogen makes you a woman. It's a beautiful thing. It is. Okay? Estrogen makes you a woman. Too much. And you're imbalanced. So too much estrogen in a man equals too little low testosterone. Okay? That's a T, by the way. I flunked writing. Okay? Belly fat, high estrogen, low progesterone in women, and low testosterone in men. And I've said this a million times, but I just got to keep saying it. Men who have too much estrogen and not enough testosterone, that really affects their prostate. Big time. Women, we just heard about, hot off the presses, Suzanne Summers passed away. Did she not? She had been fighting an aggressive breast cancer for 20 years, I believe. Okay? 20 years. And I had a lot of respect for her because she was a real hormone guru. She learned everything she could about hormones. I remember when she was first diagnosed with breast cancer, I remember this. She wrote a book. I read it, I can't remember, 20-something years ago. And what she said was she was shocked when they tested her estrogen. She had estrogen coming out both of her ears, and no one told her. And it wasn't until she went to not an oncologist, but a gynecologist who thought outside the box, said, well, no wonder you got breast cancer. You were full of estrogen. Okay? Full of estrogen. And it's good to have estrogen, ladies. It is. But not too much. And it's always a balance between estrogen and progesterone. Okay? And again, I am going to show you, because this is live, for those who are going to listen to this on a podcast afterwards, I want to show you what estrogen looks like on a scan. Okay? So I have this here, and I am going to show you estrogen. Okay? So I'm going to bring this up. I got a little bit of a light issue here. See the dark red here on the thermal imaging, but unfortunately, this should be standard. Is women and men getting the very specialized, not just general thermography done? I like this. Used to do this in my office. But you see all the estrogen here? And this is generally without any symptoms at all. It was estrogen sitting on the chest wall. Okay? Estrogen sitting on the chest wall. Now, generally, when I saw belly fat, visible belly fat, okay? High estrogen, both men and women, low testosterone in men and low progesterone in women, because women, it's a teeter-totter. Estrogen and progesterone needs to be equal. And most doctors, they don't know that because they don't test and they haven't been trained to really look at the balancing of hormones. And so, it was always amazing how little medicine knew about these hormones. Well, unless it was flagged, and even then, you're going into menopause, or you're perimenopausal, or you're so what? It doesn't matter. Who cares? You're not going to die from too much estrogen. Yes, you will. Possibly. Ask Suzanne Summers. Aggressive cancer. She was shocked because she took good care of herself. She was a health nut before there was health nuts. Do you know what I mean by that? That was Suzanne Summers. Read her story. She was shocked she got an aggressive breast cancer. But till she found out that she was full of estrogen and not enough progesterone. Now there's other factors. So when you see belly fat, ordinarily, you got high estrogen, low progesterone, and in men you have low testosterone. Men, you want high testosterone. Ladies, you want balanced estrogen and progesterone. And I don't like, personally, I never liked it. I was consistently against it. HRT, hormone replacement therapy with using estrogen. I hated it. I always hated it. And I always will hate it. I never liked it. I said, you never give a woman estrogen. Let me just show you something again, if I can find something. I don't have it with me. Every week, we are swallowing, every week, a credit card size of microplastics. Never mind all the xenoestrogens that we're exposed to. We live in an estrogen-dominated world. And when you have belly fat, your estrogen goes up even more. Your progesterone doesn't keep up, ladies. And men, your estrogen goes up and your testosterone is going down. Okay, this is what we generally found. Okay, let's get to some more. What was up? Obviously, insulin. Insulin and estrogen are growth hormones. Okay? Insulin is a fat-storing hormone. If you insist on eating sugar or carbs that turn to sugar rapidly, you are going to use a lot of insulin, and insulin's job is to store fat. As a matter of fact, in the presence of insulin, you will not lose fat in the presence of insulin. Insulin is a gatekeeper to store fat. Okay? Insulin's job, primarily, take sugar out of your bloodstream and store it. And you better have bins. You better have muscles. Otherwise, it's going to store it as belly fat and fat around your organs, especially the liver. Okay? Got it? Okay. So insulin is up. And generally, when I analyzed a person's diet, you know what I found? Almost invariably, with very, very few exceptions, over all those years, you know what I found? they were low in protein consumption. Didn't eat near enough protein. And somehow people have a bad, like protein gets a bad rap. People have bought that. It's so silly that protein is king of the castle and carbs are dirty rascals. And when I say protein, I mean protein and fat, because God gave us protein and fat. He didn't give us carbs and fat, like a donut. Donuts are man-made. Okay? Donuts, you don't see donuts growing on trees, okay? You just don't. You see protein and you see fat in nature. It's combined. Why? Why? Because it's so good for you. Okay? Protein and fat. Eggs. Does it have protein? You bet your boots. Does it have fat? You bet your boots. Are they good? Are eggs good for you? You bet your bottom dollar they are. Why? Because it's the perfect combination. Protein and fat. And fat don't make you fat, and protein don't make you fat. Sugar makes you fat, and carbs make you fat. Bread and pasta and cereal and rice. And I'm not saying you can ever have any carbs. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that's what causes insulin to rise. And protein is not enough. Everybody, I'm not going to say everybody, but a lot of people ask me, Doc, how many grams of protein can I eat in a day? I don't care. As long as you're having it with fat, eggs, meat, and cheese. EMC, and I mean it. Okay? I mean it. So, what did we see? High insulin, low levels of protein. They were not eating enough protein. They weren't getting protein and fat. They were getting fat and carbohydrates. Bad combo. Think donut. Okay? Think donut. Think muffin. Think bagel. Dr. Martin, it's whole grain. I don't care. Don't matter. It don't matter. Whole grain will break down as fast as white. It don't matter. It's going to be sugar in 5 seconds. Got the memo? Okay. Now, what was high when we saw belly fat? Cortisol. Almost invariably, cortisol was high. The stress hormone was high. Stress hormone, high, belly fat. Belly fat increases your cortisol. Oh, you can't win for losing. You can't win for losing. Stress. Big factor. Cortisol. It messes you up hormonally. It affects your insulin resistance. Do you know that cortisol will take your... I'm going to just show you this because I'm going to go to the bottom here, okay? See here, decreased thyroid, hypo, sluggish. This, guys, is probably the most missed, not misdiagnosis, although it is, missed diagnosis in medicine. the most missed ED diagnosis in medicine is hypothyroid, low functioning thyroid. And there's a lot of reasons for it. And when I would see, generally, a woman with belly fat, they had a very sluggish thyroid for a multitude of reasons. Again, the teaching on the thyroid is complex. It's complex. It's a puppet. It's got a lot of strings attached. One of the strings is right over to cortisol. When you're stressed, ladies, okay? Cortisol robs your progesterone. What does that do? Elevates your estrogen. What does that do? Estrogen makes you a woman. It holds on to fat, just like insulin does. You can't win. It's hard. Okay? But cortisol, what it does, it robs the conversion of T4 to T3. It robs that conversion. And when you rob the conversion, your thyroid slows down, not diseased. And again, I got to tell you what's happening in the world. Doctors, hello, they can't diagnose hypothyroid unless the numbers are off the charts. They won't do it because they're hijacked by the laboratory. I know, I love lab work. You guys know that. I am not against labs. But you have to understand how the thyroid works. It's got a lot of strings attached to it. If you got belly fat, you probably got, you almost invariably, again, have liver fat. If you have liver fat, your liver is gummed up. Conversion, 80% of your T4 to T3. Remember, your thyroid is so finicky, especially women. It's so finicky. Any lack of conversion of T4 to T3 will slow that thyroid down. That's your metabolism. That's your weight loss, ladies. How many women know what I'm talking about? And they fall through the cracks. It's almost like no one's listening to them. Doc, no one's listening. I know. Eat less, move more. Oh. I got women. Okay? Cardio bunnies. Okay? Doc, I'm in the gym for an hour. I'm on the treadmill. I know. How's that working for you? Not so much. Why, Doc? It's called hormones. Okay? It's called hormones. And I got belly fat, Doc. And I got hips that I wish I didn't have. I'm very sympathetic, you know. Very sympathetic. Because I could see it. I could see it when I did the blood work. I was looking and I could see it. A messed up hormonal system. It ain't your fault. Do you understand me? It's not your fault. Okay? But there's help. Okay, so what do we see? What do we see? Just generally, a general rule of thumb, over 90%, probably 95% of people. Okay, so they had high estrogen, high insulin, causing insulin resistance, high cortisol, the stress hormone. They had high leptin. Okay? They were hungry all the time. Oh, the food industry loves that. Because then you need to snack. Of course, when cortisol's up, it elevates your blood sugar. What goes up must come down. Insulin gets in there, takes it down. Cortisol is up, your blood sugar goes up. And you're hungry because your blood sugar goes down. After insulin mops it up. Do you understand what I mean? You get in a cycle. Leptin is up, CRP is up, C-reactive protein. Generally when I found, belly fat, you would see high CRP. What's that? Inflammation marker. So there was this here, okay, showing the fat, creates inflammation. You know why? You know why that happens? Because your body says, what is this? It's taking up space and it's not paying rent in the body. This fat is taking up space, but it's not paying the rent. And so your body sees this as a foreign invader. It's almost like it's an organ unto itself. And your body says, man, oh man, what's in there? What's in this body? Inflammation. The body responds to it. The ambulance comes to that area with more blood supply, more enzymes, more healing. But the problem is that it's not going away, so it stays on. And when inflammation stays on, it can become very destructive. You got it? Okay? So, here's what we saw. What was up, what was high, and what was low. Usually low protein, low sleep. Usually there was an association. Cortisol is high, you don't sleep as well. You don't sleep as well, your cortisol is high. Man. No fun under the sun. And how many people? 70% of the population, at least, have some form of sleep problem. Never mind, like an official diagnosis like sleep apnea, which is, by the way, an insulin problem. That's why we see so much of it today. Okay? It's an insulin problem. What's low? Here's what I found in the clinic consistently. Low, the sleep, poor sleep, low vitamin D, and low B12. Yep, with belly fat. Almost, like I say, I know that's a lot of repetition, but almost without exception. Low levels of vitamin D. You know what happens with vitamin D, by the way, if you got a lot of this? Remember, vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin. It loves fat. That's why. You see, think about this for a minute, okay? I want you to think with me just for a minute. When I tell you to eat steak, do you think I'm fooling? Well, you see, There's vitamin D in steak. Vitamin D is found in food. Okay, obviously the best source of vitamin D, we all know it. It's the sun. Well, I don't know. I live in Sudbury. I haven't seen the sun in about a month. When people tell me there's climate change, I go, yeah, it's always changing. And come to Sudbury in Northern Ontario, and you're going to have fall with very little sun. Ooh. Okay. We're not growing palm trees in Sudbury. Okay? Now that's a whole other discussion, but I get uptight. I can't handle it because I live in Northern Ontario. It isn't hotter. Okay? Now, okay? But when you see vitamin D in foods, this is why Inuit, don't die from a lack of vitamin D. They don't see the sun. And if they do, they see it in the summer, it's still cold. It's not like they're sunbathing. But you see, in their diet, they get a lot of vitamin D. Because they eat fat. They eat blubber. They eat a lot of fish. They eat a lot of seal. They eat a lot of whales. Okay? They get vitamin D from their food. Vitamin D is a fat vitamin. The problem is if you have belly fat, vitamin D happens to go there and not to all of your solar panel the way it should. So people that have any belly fat, I always saw that they just generally that live low in vitamin D. And you know what I would do? I'd put them on vitamin D. I said, take this every day. You need a vitamin D. You need it. Your body ain't going to work without it. Okay? Get my book, Sun, Steak, and Steel. I talk so much about vitamin D. And B12. B12. It's so important for your metabolism. It's so important. And when you have belly fat, generally, you have low levels of vitamin B12. And remember, B12 is a weight loss vitamin. How do I know that? Remember Dr. Bernstein's clinics? I don't even know if they exist anymore. He used to restrict your diet to 600 calories a day, starve you to death, but then he'd give you B12. Well, I agreed with the B12 shots. I like them. I like B12. I agreed with them there. I didn't like the 600 calorie because I don't like calories in and calories out. Change your fuel. Change your fuel. Anyway, I get excited. I know I shouldn't. I just wanted to show you that today. Okay? I wanted to show you that today. Okay, guys, we got a great week coming. I am going to Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll post this, okay? I'm going to do shorter versions because I'm traveling. I'm on the road again. I think that's a song. Traveling Tuesday and Wednesday, okay? So I'm going to do them, just going to be shorter versions, okay? So we have a little bit, I got some news headlines here that we'll pontificate a bit on, okay? So they'll be shorter. And but back to our regular programming Thursday, okay? It'll be our full-length podcast, okay? So, guys, Friday's question and answer Friday. Get your questions in, okay? When is the last time I told you that I cared for you and loved you? Friday? That's a long time ago. I do. Guys, we appreciate our audience. You have no idea. Thanks for joining us today. We love you dearly. We'll talk to you soon.